Hi, my name is Annamieka, and this is the Art Friends Show, where every conversation focuses on getting to know the essence of creativity itself. I'd love to invite you as well to join me inside of Art Friends School, where we go deeper into these topics and join in with other art friends around the world. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Art Friends Show. Here's an artist you're gonna love to know. Hi, I'm Annamieka, and I'm in Portland, Oregon, and today we're being joined by an artist who lives in New Zealand. Alayna, thank you for starting off your morning with us here, and we're going to get to see her work, her studio, and without further ado, here she comes. There you are. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's early over here. Well, it feels early. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. Like we're a whole day. You're in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Hi. Yeah, so this is really fun. Thank you for joining for an Art Friend interview. Can you tell everyone your full name, where you live, and then tell us about what you make?
Okay, so I'm Alayna Flighty and I live in New Zealand, and it's a little town in Manukau, which is just out of a little place called Otaki, Wellington region. And I am kind of like I paint quite intuitively, so I come to my canvas and I don't come with sets of ideas. I just allow an emotion to move through me and then see how the work develops and forms, and kind of feed off that. And I just work out of a little studio in Paikakariki. So I travel to a studio and I work as an art mentor as for a school called TLC.
Cool. Amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, can we see some of your work?
Sure. Okay. Hopefully it won't be too okay, so I'll come over here because this is kind of weird. This is sort of work I'm working on at the moment.
Wow.
A big piece. There's some work up on the wall there that's kind of around. My mum has dementia, so I was processing a lot of things about pathways and how our kind of mind connects things and doesn't connect. These are kind of like some of my little paper studies that I've just been.
Oh, I think I
do
just saw that one in your stories, maybe that big white one.
Oh yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are just little paper studies. I don't know how to get that to show.
You're doing
and
great.
then, oh good. And then over here, so over here I have. So this one's one of my dementia ones. That's the processing block. So that's kind of resonates with the processing of our mind and how it starts to kind of separate and float into space a little.
Wow.
Just a couple of different ones down here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think I'm going through like a bit of a change. So those ones that I just showed you are my older work, and this one is just kind of a new series I'm thinking about working on with different color palettes.
Super feeling this new direction. It's spring in the northern hemisphere, so there's also this like brightness. But what's inspiring that new direction for you in your work?
Color. I'm just really loving color at the moment, and I want to go into each different color palette and see how it evokes kind of an emotion or a sense or a feeling as I'm working with it, and then maybe go from small and then to quite big, so then you have these big color blocks that you walk in and are surrounded by.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I want to take that exploration. And I just listened, there's a new book that's just come out, and it's kind of about the science of art and the effect that art has on us as humans, and they've been doing all these studies. I just heard about it today on the drive here, and I was just like, got to read this book because it confirms all of that. I think what we know as artists, like, it's a real visceral process that we go through when we create, and as we create, we move through emotions and we feel, and as people come to view, if they connect with it, they bring up these big feelings, and yeah, so these things, yeah, it's just, it's a book I want to read now.
What's it called?
I'd have to, how about I put it in the notes for you, because
Great.
I'd have to go back and have a look on my phone to see. But it's something about the art of silence. So, yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Can you
it's
tell us
exciting.
a little about the studio and the studio collective that you work in?
Yeah. Well, so I work with this really gorgeous collective in Paikakariki, and there are 13 of us at the moment, 3 new artists about to join. And we're a working gallery and we sell as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so it's just this fantastic opportunity that can make you a little bit lazy, because you don't have to push your work out all the time as much. But it's just so good because we're in a really amazing community that supports everyone. And, you come up to the space and you're not alone. You have, like, there's often like at least three or four other artists already working in the space. So if you're feeling a bit lost, you can be like, can you come and have a look at my work?
Yeah.
Or if you need to walk away, you can go look at their work. And there's just this inspiration there. It's constantly fed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So the way you just described it really highlighted all of the benefits, and having run a collective studio in different iterations myself, I'm also curious, how did you put that together, and what is your responsibility or role in order to make that happen?
So I was very lucky. I walked into this situation. So there was a few key artists in this space prior, because what's happened is our buildings had a refit. So they've earthquake strengthened it and changed the space.
Okay.
So from last year, the 6 artists that were up here were like, well, let's open these spaces up. And they invited us in. And so it went from 6 artists to 13, 15. It's going to be about 15 or 16 of us soon. But it works really well. Like Di, who is, she kind of runs the behind the scenes, everyone pays into one collective. But we seem just to manage, like we just come and go, and doors are open, and we're going to start a little roster just so we're definitely open in the weekend hours, because that's important for people who are coming to view. But yeah, I've been really blessed that I just get to step into it.
I'm so happy for you. That sounds really beneficial. Like there's built-in community and peers, and a place to actually make sales and display your work, as well as messy space to create. Dude,
it's amazing. I love it.
I'm a little bit jealous in the best of ways.
I love it. To be a guest artist.
Yeah. So you've been talking a bit about getting uncomfortable, right? I mean, even jumping on here, if I may share, you were like, I'm nervous, but nervous and excited, that's the edge of growth. So what else have you done? Like, have there been any specific moments in your journey as an artist where you really noticed yourself get uncomfortable? What was that like?
Yeah. I think actually there's been 2. So there's been heaps, a lot, but 2 major ones that have helped my growth at getting out and selling and making this more of a viable dream that I can continue doing. Was one is going and being in like art shows. So my first one ever was like the Auckland Art Show, and that's with, I think it's like a fair for Americans, an art fair, and you just have a space where hundreds of different artists come together and you display, and heaps of people come through. But that was really uncomfortable because you don't know how your work's going to be received, how much work you make, how much work you take up if you're traveling to the place. So many different variables. And I think there's that edge of uncomfort that sits in me that is so easy to be like, no, I don't want to do this. It feels uncomfortable. But like you say, it's that listening in deeply to yourself and saying, okay, is this uncomfortable because I'm just actually being afraid, or does it have the uncomfortable feeling, but that sense of, but this could be cool, this could be amazing, this could be something that teaches you so much, you know?
Yeah.
How much does it teach you when you go into that space?
Right.
And I think the other space was here because I'd known the artists who are up there. Alan, he's like, I've always loved his work, and I used to come in when I was a lot younger into this gallery space and be like, oh, I'd love to be in this space.
Oh, wow.
And so when
Now
the
you are.
opportunity came up, I jumped on it, but I was like, am I good enough to be in the space with these other artists? Like to me, these artists were, you know, just, I loved their work. And so, and am I comfortable enough to be working in front of people who are going to be walking around while I'm in my process of creating?
Right.
So that there were different edges there as to take it. But you know, I felt into it and I knew that, yes, I'm uncomfortable, but the growth of it has been amazing. You know, I would never want to take that back. Never want to take a different direction.
I'm so glad that you did believe in yourself to step into that peer group. And, you know, starting off your interview with this glowing story about your studio, it sounds like it's a really good fit. In fact,
it's amazing. I feel like I've found my feet here. So and my support network, you know, the group of people and artists and creatives who you know, we want to pull everyone up, and we want to see each other achieve and grow together. And
that's great. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I remember when I first moved to Portland in 2009. It was in October, and the second and third weekend in October every year, now I know, is this like citywide studio tour, and they 100 artists, and it's hosted in each artist's home or studio. So it's impossible to go to all of them for me, but I went into one artist studio, and I walked upstairs, and it was just like this complete full body reaction of like, I want to be that, like, this is my destiny. You know, that sense of that. And I do remember though that leap of actually applying to that show myself, and doing it for a couple of years, and then having so many other people walk through the door and kind of share their exact same, like being like, this activates my desire, like this is what I want to cause for myself. I think as both of us are mentoring and offering ourselves to other artists to assist in their process, perhaps it's that intelligence that, you know, we've been there too, or we constantly are there, right? Yeah.
And I get that as well, like how you had that feeling when you went up to that student and then to that space, and then people have come into your space. I get that here a lot as well. Like people come in, they're like, oh, the space is amazing. Like, I just love it. I'm like, yeah, well, follow those threads. What's that awareness telling you? Like, you've become aware of something. What is it nudging you to explore and like look into a bit more?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Do you feel, you've mentioned mentoring. What do you do? What do you feel like your kind of specialty is right now?
Well, I work under a school system, so I'm working for the Learning Connection, which is an art school within New Zealand. Oh, cool. And we do like a distant delivery mentoring system. So I have to go with their curriculum at this point in time. Yeah. But I think a lot of it is getting them to really believe in their artistry, and then just to remind them to play and be curious. Like, I think when we step into it, we can sometimes, some people come with a full load of curiosity, but a lot come with like their curiosity is just tied up a little, and the play is tied up into aspects of, oh, but I want it to be good. It's like, but play and make it messy and find the ugly and find the beauty in the ugly, and then develop and evolve the work from there.
Oh, and it seems like your process has so much richness in that, there, with following your intuition and even like thought connections or being inspired by color. Like there are these
Yeah.
kind of very expansive concepts that allow a lot of room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this is encouraging anyone to be able to play and to make like crap work, right? To
I
make,
know, right? Like sometimes the crap is fun.
yeah, totally.
And sometimes within that piece of like work that you look at and you're like, oh God, what was I doing? It's kind of like, whoa, but I love how just whatever's happened here, I love this
Yeah,
little point.
there's an
How do I,
insight.
yeah,
Yeah, how do you pull that out?
have I
Um,
pulled it out and,
just a second.
yeah, show me.
Sorry, something was beeping at me.
Oh, that's
Okay,
all
so
right. Funny
I'm
when that
still
happens,
curious.
right? Oh,
Being in New Zealand, I'm curious. Do we have different art supplies? Like, do we have any? Like, what do you have in your world that?
yeah,
This is not a focused question that I prepped. I'm
no,
just curious.
it's okay. I'm looking around at my art supplies now.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like we have quite similar. Like we can get like the Golden Range and Liquid and things like that. But and then like jelly prints. I could show you. I've got a very messy
Well, how
array of stuff
about a different
around me.
question? What are some of your like favorite art materials?
Okay, favorites. Definitely sort of like my oily pens.
Ooh,
These are
yeah.
like paint pens or the
That
oil-based ones.
I can't live without
Yeah,
some light
Posca.
markers. They're like
Yeah, these ones.
yeah, exactly.
Um, I love my golden. I love all my golden range, and I love. Hold on, I'm just going to stand up and move for a second.
Yeah.
I love these kinds of ones as well.
Ooh, yeah, the acrylic inks and
Yeah,
the high flow. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's liquid pink and the golden ones that I love.
Yeah.
Oh, and fluoros.
Very
I've
cool.
got to have. And it doesn't matter what brand it is, whether it's the golden or the
The
like student
fluorescent
brand.
colors. Oh, aren't we so happy to live in the 2020s when we have all these fluorescent colors?
You know,
Thinking
it's like I
about,
try and pull away from them, and they sneak back in.
yeah. Why
Yeah,
hot pink is a whole mood for
hot
sure.
pink,
Yeah.
bit of hot orange.
If you see
Yeah,
on Sunday I interviewed, or maybe a few days ago I interviewed one of my friends since childhood,
yeah.
Corey, and one of her favorite color combinations is fluorescent orange plus fluorescent red plus fluorescent pink, like all together.
Oh,
The
they would look so beautiful. So nice. My fave at the moment is pink and orange, like combining together, that real dramatic, like zing to the eyes. I love
Cool.
that.
Love that.
Yeah. Might have to be one of
It's
my next pieces.
cool. Yeah. So what do you have coming up? What are you working towards right now?
Um, I've had, we've got the Kapiti Art Show, which is like,
Oh.
you know how you said, is it Portland you're in? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, so how you have the studio spaces that will get opened up to the
Mhm.
public, we do that as well. And so we do it in districts. So we'll be part of that Kapiti Art Show. So I'll have to start making work for that. And I think for me, it's at the moment, because my mum has dementia, so I've been kind of holding space for her. She lives with me, my sister part-time. We
Mhm.
part-time at my sister's, part-time at mine. So I've kind of pulled back a lot just in the past year just to, deal with that. But I'm thinking about like getting my website redone and getting my social media. So I'm kind of on that flow now. Like, how can I open up the means in which people can see me and buy off me
Mhm.
rather than being just in my brick and mortar place?
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So
Translate. It sounds like
that,
you really have a robust local practice with your
yeah,
studio, with open studios, with the gallery, and now you're
yeah.
figuring out how to communicate that online.
Yeah, and I think that, and then you've got, the world is at your, eyesight as well,
Yeah.
if you do it right,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's exciting because your work is very strong. It's
Thank
really
you.
fun to like binge your Instagram and look at a bunch of your work and be like, ooh, I like this. What you're thinking about is profound
Mm.
and meaningful. So I'm excited for you to offer it to the world. How would it feel really awesome if that online expression of you as an artist were to take off?
That would be amazing. It would just it, it just gives you the freedom to play more. You know, it gives you the freedom to come and be the artist that you really want to be
What would
when
it
those things start to take off.
Yeah, how would it change?
Uh,
What do you
well, what do I want? That's a big question. I think I would like I love art and I love inspiring people to do art. So I think no matter where I go with my art, there'll always be elements of me somehow giving to others and hopefully allowing them to express and inspire them, be inspired as well.
Yeah.
So there'll be elements of that within my art practice and my online world, and I'd probably be here way more. I'd
Yeah,
be in this space,
in this
like,
space. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
this would be it.
Yeah.
And like, I'd like to go, you know, I have this dream, me and my partner, to go to like Australia and America and, you know, Europe and go around and do like a set of artists, whether it's interviewing with artists or just going into their space and being inspired
Yes.
or, you know, there's dreamies happening,
Uh-huh.
but making it a working trip.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well. Hey, let's
Portland.
let's hold it because I want to do the art friend show, and I think that would be really cool if there were like international correspondents that film
Oh
studio
my
tours,
gosh,
meet friends down under. So
I would love
it's
that.
totally possible.
It
We're
completely is,
doing it. We're
right?
actually doing it right now in a very micro version because we just toured your studio.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I feel like we're on the same we're on the same wavelength. We've got those same drives and passions.
Yeah,
So, you know, creative and humanity,
yeah.
creativity.
It's nice. I like being able to find kindreds. Sometimes
Good.
I'm, a neighborhood potluck, and people are like, "So, what do you do for work?" Like, well, I meet with artists all over the world, and I have a mentoring program, and I just love them and hold them through this process of making their own work. And people are like, "You're not a teacher, or like they just want like about time."
You've crafted your own job? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
I just shout enthusiastically through Zoom, and people pay me for that.
Yeah. What was that step that made you go into the mentoring? Like, when did you feel it? Were you just like, this is, I
Mm.
see the gap and I'm there, or?
Oh gosh, no, I actually didn't think I was ready, really.
Mm,
Um,
that's
but I've
comfortable
been
being
teaching
with.
workshops and retreats, and
Okay.
so people are approaching me for private mentoring beyond the groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm doing that locally in my studio and some consults. But then I think the biggest jump was that my career started to go in this direction that my friend Lisa here in town sometimes jokes that she also made a choice between global art superstar and like intimate experiences with clients. And I was starting to do really big online classes like
Yeah.
Lifebook with Tamara Laporte, and she's like amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I started feeling like, okay, I could go in this direction where I'm making
Mm,
art courses for thousands upon thousands of people, and that was exciting in some ways, but
mm,
that's when mentoring came in because I was seeking depth in my own work and kind of a return. I was considering like, what if I went and did a master's in fine art? I loved my
mm,
BFA, which is like here, that's like a thesis. You tack
yeah.
on a thesis year to your undergrad, and you have a studio year. I was craving a studio year, and I thought the best way to do a studio year would be to teach a studio year, kind of like
Oh,
you're saying, the best way to
I
build
love that.
around
Yeah.
would be make it your um And so I launched my mentoring program as a
Mm.
studio year. And then that helped me develop my curriculum, which I've now been teaching since
Wow.
2018. Private mentoring
That's
from there.
that's fantastic, isn't it? And you kind of got comfortable with being uncomfortable in that sidestep as well.
Every day, even
Yeah.
yesterday, I had a client come to my house. This
Yeah.
is, my house, and I used to have a professional space like you do for 9 years here in Portland,
Mm.
and I think that helped my confidence, but it also fed some imposter syndrome because sometimes I thought, well, would people think I'm as, professional if I didn't have this glorious space to elevate the
Right.
work? And so teaching now in my own house, in my literal living room, was
Mm.
uncomfortable in like a really cool way because it was also like there is like I like have there's nothing to hide any like
Yeah.
really I can't.
Just me. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
so
me.
that's that is there's levels of uncomfortable every day, right?
Yeah.
How about you?
And I completely agree with that. Levels of uncomfortable. And I think art is such a great vehicle and a safe vehicle to allow you to like experience what it's like and then realize that actually it was okay to be uncomfortable and work through it, and it actually ended up being really fun or exciting, or I learned a lot. And if you can, as an artist or as a being, you can take that experience and then apply it outside of your art life as well. I mean, that just grows your life into a richer experience,
Yeah,
right?
go team. Amen. Preaching to the choir.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I love it. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's really fun to know you in this way, and
Yeah.
we've like flirted on the internet for years. So it's nice to get to hang out with you. I think the exact purpose of this project is to
Yeah.
activate all of us, help us all get a little more visible. Obviously,
Mm.
grow professionally. And thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, and thank you for like having that vision and holding true to it, and making the space for yourself and for us to do this, because like you say, it is so important for us as creatives and humans to really like experience each other's creativity and lift each other up. And we need creativity right now. We need it in this life because yeah,
Yeah.
it's so important.
It's a form of resilience, right?
Completely.
It's completely, yeah. Oh, my dear,
Yeah.
I can talk on and on. Let's go ahead and wrap this, and we can always do more.
Yeah.
And is there any other message or invitation you want to share
Mhm.
while I have the floor?
Um, I don't know. If you're listening and you love creating and there's a little nudge in you saying just do it, then go and paint. Pick up some, I don't know, paint, create, collage, anything. Just feed your soul. Feed
Yeah,
that part of you.
yes,
Yeah.
amen. I'm actually going to take a screenshot because there's a couple of really sweet comments here.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll screenshot. I'm learning how to do this each day.
Okay.
So Vicky Dorgan is saying, so proud of you. Great interview. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Vicky.
Rose Clementine is saying, loved this interview while also creating myself.
Oh,
That's a perfect
yeah.
goal.
That's so good. Yay.
Making.
Come here, the cup of tea and create.
So on that note, anyone watching, it's super helpful to help these be seen if you comment on them and if you share them in your stories, or if you tag a friend or send it as an individual message to someone you think would love to hear this particular conversation. So, all
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
saying hi, Paige, because I just saw she's on there.
Oh, look. Paige Collinson says, Alayna is my mentor and she is amazing. Yay!
So is Paige. She's pretty amazing.
I bet. I bet. Lovely to
Okay.
meet you, and how
Yeah.
much we other go team, and enjoy the rest of
And
your day. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. And I really enjoyed this conversation because I did come in really nervous, and yeah, you've made it so comfortable. So thank you.
You did awesome. You could do
You
more.
took the uncomfortable out of, no, you put comfortable into uncomfortable.
Good. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. And that makes me think, if anyone's watching this and you want to try coming on live for your very own art friend interview, just like she did, just sign up. Let me know.
Yay.
Okay.
Do it. It's worth it.
We would love to see you. Okay.
All right.
Bye. This one.
Thank you.
Over now.
Bye.
I'd love to have you inside of Art Friends School, where we go deeper into these topics. Follow the link that's in the show notes or find it on my website at annamieka.com.